I want to say welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Was not going to broadcast tonight because I did not find a legal documents. But of course, the more I thought about it, I just want to go ahead and speak with you real briefly tonight on the Juneteenth or post-Juneteenth federal holiday. Like to speak on the pros and cons of it, to see what's your thoughts. I give my thoughts, and then we'll conclude the broadcast. So watch the clock, sit back, relax. We'll be getting started shortly. Peace and love. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry to come to you so late tonight. As I indicated, I was not going to broadcast tonight because I didn't find my legal documents, and so. But the more I thought about it, I said that I done missed what 1, 2 broadcasts already, and so I decided to just come on anyway to speak to you just briefly on the Juneteenth topic that many of you participated in over the weekend or the week that is, celebrating in your own unique way. Uh, of course, how you doing, Mrs. Williams? Of course, we're going to speak about Juneteenth. You know, we're going to be speaking about the pros and the cons of it, and so what I'm going to do first of all, I want to show you all a quick 7-minute video. Okay, this video is really my piece of support, evidence, if you will, that I want to present to you as to why I believe that we don't need to take our eye off the ball in regards of focusing on more important issues as we know it. And when I give my commentary, I want to go up here. When I give my commentary, I'm going to speak 1 minute on each topic real briefly. and I'm trying to find it here. And the things that I want to speak on, that I want to ask you a question about. First of all, the Juneteenth holiday. You know, what does that mean for the John Lewis Voting Right Act? I'm gonna speak on that 1 minute. What does it mean for the People's Act? I'm gonna speak 1 minute on that. Also, reparations. I'm pretty sure there's been much talk about that over the years. You know what that is. I'm going to speak on that for about 1 minute. Okay. Going to speak on police reform. And last, I'm going to really touch base on economics and educational. So for us in terms of equity. And so those are the topics that I'm going to be speaking about. But I just want to set your mind to say, do not be fooled by this national holiday. Jim Crow and family is up to their old tricks. Okay. Jim Crow and family are up to their old tricks. So let's go ahead and watch this video for about 7 minutes, and then I'm gonna come back. Going to give my commentary, take your questions, your comments, and then we're going to conclude the broadcast. I will say this here: this show is not for everybody. In fact, I know many of you now probably watching the playoff games, and so you may not watch this video. This broadcast tonight. I just ask that if you will, could you please watch the video sometime tomorrow or within the week. And I think that you will be glad if you tune in. So let's go right now up to the video, play the video. And once the video conclude, I will come back, give my commentary, take your questions or your comments, and we'll conclude this broadcast. All right. So let's go up here and play the video right now. Let's go up here right now and play the video. Let's pull it up.
The death of an unarmed black man.
It has been incredibly difficult to constitute a police officer.
Oh, wrong thing. That was my bad. Excuse me.
I'm here because I'm sick and tired of seeing black men and women be killed and nothing be done about it.
We can never be satisfied as long as the Negro is the victim of the unspeakable horrors of police brutality.
Jonathan Ferrell was unarmed when he died, just a month shy of his 25th birthday.
Now that officer, Randall Carrick, is charged with voluntary manslaughter.
A mistrial was declared in the case of a white police officer who shot and killed an unarmed black man. There were protests outside the court after the mistrial was announced Friday.
Don't shoot! Unarmed! Don't shoot! Unarmed! Don't shoot!
Death of Eric Garner of a heart attack on Thursday. The father of
if
six.
You can notice to the right side of your screen,
repeatedly.
Those are all the black Americans killed it.
That's what this is all about.
By police.
Many people simply cannot understand why the grand jury did not indict when they could actually see video of what went down between that New York police officer and Eric Garner.
Michael Brown, an unarmed 18-year-old, was shot and killed during a struggle with a Ferguson police officer.
Sir Darren Wilson will not be indicted.
It's the feeling among many of these people that black lives don't matter. Not one reason that this grand jury find to indict him.
Ask a question.
Yes.
How can we be promised that this injustice will happen again to another black kid?
In another state tomorrow.
How can we assure our kids that they're safe out on the street with your officers?
That's my
That's
question.
what I want to know. I have a black child.
Chicago police officer Jason Van Dyke shot and killed 17-year-old Laquan McDonald.
For the first time in 35 years, a Chicago police officer is charged with first-degree murder.
That officer found guilty of second-degree murder. Very unusual, very important one.
It just goes to show you how serious that I am about my life and all these other lives that are out here that are scared of the police.
An officer shot and killed 12-year-old Tamir Rice on Sunday.
Tamir Rice was playing with a pellet gun when officers arrived. One of them opened fire within 2 seconds. grand jury decided not to indict the two officers who shot and killed 12-year-old Tamir Rice.
Cleveland's prosecutor calls it a tragedy, but not a crime.
Doesn't even warrant a trial. That, in my mind, is unacceptable.
Thinking the death of Freddie Gray.
All lives matter, but you got to think about who dying out here.
Prosecutors in Baltimore dropped all remaining charges against 3 police officers in the Freddie Gray case.
Samuel DuBose was shot in the head Sunday.
Do you see the numbers yet calculating? 741. That's what we had
Officer
now.
Raymond Tensing has now been charged with murder and voluntary manslaughter.
The only reason why Tensing is being charged is because there was a body cam. Yes.
Now those charges have been dismissed.
Black Lives Matter.
We will never get a conviction in this case.
The death of Alton Sterling,
African-American man killed by police in Louisiana.
The Louisiana Department of Justice cannot proceed with a prosecution.
All we want is the same justice that they put against us whenever we go through certain trials and tribulations.
Philando Castillo, a supervisor at a school cafeteria where kids loved him.
Police officer Geronimo Yanez shot Castillo to death while he was in the car with his girlfriend and her 4-year-old daughter.
Jurors found Yanez was reasonable in his decision to shoot and kill Philando Castillo during a traffic stop.
Watch the numbers to the right side of your screen.
He was a police officer. That makes it okay.
I think the past 2 shootings with Alton and Philando have really sparked something.
There's people being murdered unjustly and not being held accountable. Cops are getting paid leave for killing people.
Former fans burning his number 7 jersey.
I hope you get cut.
40-year-old Terrence Crutcher was killed on Friday when local officers responded to a call of a stalled vehicle in the middle of the road.
12 jurors found TPD officer Betty Shelby not guilty of manslaughter in the shooting of Terrence Crutcher.
The facts were there. All the elements of manslaughter was there.
The death of 22-year-old Stephon Clark sparked nationwide protests.
Clark was hit 20 times. He was in his grandparents' backyard at the time.
This is what we have to do to not only this young man, but those who are going to come behind him.
Police officers will not face charges saying they did not break any laws when they shot Stephon Clark in his grandparents' backyard.
And the same cop who killed him is back on the streets patrolling other communities, running through other people's backyards.
Got about 2.5 minutes.
Anger overnight over the shooting death of 26-year-old Botham Jean in his own apartment.
Former Dallas police officer Amber Geiger is waking up this morning behind bars. She was found guilty yesterday of murdering her neighbor in his own home.
Tatiana is her name, and everyone is seeing that name on social media. There she is.
She was up playing video games with her nephew when she was shot and killed by former Fort Worth police officer Aaron Dean.
The Fort Worth police officer who shot at Tatiana Jefferson in her own home has been formally charged with murder.
Breonna Taylor.
The woman was shot and killed in her apartment.
George Floyd died in police custody after an officer pressed his knee into Floyd's neck.
Said, "I can't breathe," eerily similar to what we heard in 2014 with Eric Garner.
Black Lives Matter.
I filed an amended complaint that charges former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin with murder in the second degree.
George Floyd, whose killing by U.S. police triggered anti-racism protests right around the
Weeks
world.
of global protests and international support
Have impact around the world.
Protesters marched once again in cities worldwide demanding police departments change their tactics.
George Floyd!
Got about 30 seconds.
George Floyd! George Floyd!
Okay, that was that. That pretty much set the stage as to why I want to give my commentary as to why I believe that the Juneteenth federal holiday may cause us to take our eye off the ball. I think many of you would agree that the most serious threat to Black people in general in this day and age has to be coming into the presence of a police officer. In many cases, it involves a traffic stop, which don't go right. And we have seen in past years, even up to now, to where men and women, of course, and also young kids have lost their life unarmed, being shot and killed by the police officers. So for me, and I think many others, that is what is important to us. Juneteenth is something that has been celebrated for years. I don't think we needed the this law to validate us as to celebrate in our own special way amongst those who want to be in this struggle, this fight with us, to acknowledge that slavery, racism did occur in this country. Okay, so I prefer we had a stay of the course to trying to get the George Floyd police reform bill passed. That is something that is very dear to many parents, I know, and so that is something that we could have did pursue that. Now, by no means am I trying to belittle or trash those who have a great desire in past years up to now to celebrate Juneteenth. That's not what I'm trying to do here. What I'm asking you all to do is that not take your eye off the ball. Okay? The biggest threat to Black people in this day and age is being shot down unarmed by police officers, which in many cases, these police officers are not charged. You saw the video, it got well over 1,000. I think that was either 2015, it might have been 2020. I don't know which video I looked at, but as many as 1,000 individuals have been shot and killed. Very little have been prosecuted and convicted. With us being somewhat 13% of the population of all those police shootings, we represent almost 24% of every police shooting in death that occurs in this country. We're only 13% of the population, but we overrepresented when it comes to police shooting. Okay, so that's what I wanted to talk to you about tonight. That will not take our eye off the ball. We still have work to be done in regards to the George Floyd police reform bill. So let's go back up here to John Lewis Voting Right Act. Why is that bill more important than Juneteenth? Because the John Lewis bill, Voting Right Act bill, it protects your right to vote. You know, it do away with restriction, trying to reduce the hours of voting. I mean, there's many Jim Crow laws that are in place. Arkansas is one of 40 some states that have passed voter restriction bills. Okay. And so bring us to ask the question, how prepared are we right now for 22 and 24? I mean, how prepared are we? All right. So the John Lewis Voting Right bill is a lot more important than celebrating something as painful as it was Juneteenth slavery I'm talking about. I see no need to take a lot of glory in celebrating something that was very painful for us. In many cases, we was beaten. In many other cases, we died, through the course of that inhumane era of slavery. All right. So that's my thought on the John Lewis. I think it is more important. We go to the For the People's Act. Now, what is that? That act, I believe, is something I think it's called HR 1. What that bill, the reason that bill should be important to you and important to me although it takes out big money, those who have money buying elections. But for the biggest thing that I like about this For This People Act is that it somewhat narrowing down on gerrymandering. Many of you know that I spoke about gerrymandering in the past. Gerrymandering is nothing but our state legislators. Has nothing to do with Congress at this point, but more so has to do with each state, okay, drawing boundary lines to favor one or two things, either a particular party, that it be Democrat or that it be Republicans, or to favor a particular candidate. That's basically what gerrymandering is. I think many of you know that I have spoken about Arkansas being one of 4 states or 5 states. We're probably we are one of 4 or 5 states that have never sent a black man or a black woman to the United States House, Congress, that is, nor have we sent a United States black man or black woman to the United States Senate. We're one of 4 or 5 states that have never done that. Why is that so? It's because of gerrymandering. Back here years ago, the NAACP even filed a lawsuit to try to have one district drawn in Arkansas, to where we would have had the opportunity to send a preferred candidate of our choice to represent us there in Washington. But of course, gerrymandering, along with the Jim Crow and family, they just won't die. They will not give us an opportunity to elect a black, brown preferred candidate of our choice to be sent to Washington, D.C. as our representative. Okay. And of course, reparation. Okay. Let's compare that with the holiday that was approved. Now, I asked a question back here a few days ago. I asked, how will Juneteenth, in so many words, have a profound economical impact in your life going forward? Because this is a national holiday now, how will Juneteenth have a financial, economical impact on your life going forward? Okay. Give me an answer on that question. Other than being symbolic, other than you having an opportunity to do a bunch of hooray, kind of throwing it in the face of Jim Crow and family, kind of like spiking the football, rubbing it in their face, and I imagine it feel good, but long term, that is, or even in the short term, what kind of financial, economical impact with the passage of Juneteenth being a federal holiday, other than symbolic gestures, what economical impact would that have on you and your family? Okay, that's what I'm talking about. Okay, that is exactly what I'm talking about. You're getting 1 day paid vacation that will allow you to celebrate, eat, drink, and have fun, as opposed to reparation that will allow you to do those very same things. But instead of doing it for 1 day, you have the opportunity to do it for years. 1 day versus years. Reparation. Okay. Police reforms. As I say, police reform is probably the most worrisome thing that's on our mind right now, in terms of not knowing when we leave the house, will we return? Children, who are out riding for the weekend with their friends, and being pulled over by the police. And there it is, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. You get that one call that you fear that you would have gotten, or say you choose not to get, that you need to get down to the hospital, that your child has been shot and killed, or just been shot. that worries you. And so we need police reform. We need to take away police immunity. Police immunity is nothing but a card, what I call a stay out of jail card. You know, shoot you, kill you dead, and they can say, I was in fear for my life. I made a mistake. I'm sorry. Okay. So we need to end police immunity, and we also need to have our legislators to consider having the police officers to take out some police liability. In other words, when police mess up, taxpayers don't pay. Their bonding insurance company will have to pay whatever lawsuit that is said to be paid or assessed against them. Okay. Now, many of you know, this last one, of course, equity. So many years that we always fall short when it comes to equity. You know, every time we hear of a steel mill coming into the area, that it be Osceola or that it be Blavel, you know, we seem like we're still at the back of the bus. I'm just going to be frank with you. We are still at the back of the bus. In fact, many of you have did those things, went out, attend these courses down at ANC, only to find out that there are some of you who have called me that have not even been considered for an interview, although you completed the class. Okay, that has to be stopped. We must be fair with economic equity. The same thing with educational equity. I think most predominant black school districts, you know, we continue to lose funding. You know, we're not funded as we should be as compared to some of the white school districts. And so there's an equity problem even with our public education system. Okay. And so we need to call out fairness on that. So you see what I'm saying? There are so many issues that we have before us that have a profound impact on our lives as we live today. Okay. I mean, let alone going forward, but we're talking about the now. Okay. Juneteenth. It was yesterday. It done came and gone. Now, what do you do from here? Do you just continue to treat it like Dr. King and Black History celebrations? That's why I don't do Black History programs anymore. I used to. I don't even do Dr. King events anymore. I used to. Why? It's because many of you treat it like it's a routine, some symbolic gesture, something that you feel you have to participate in for that one day. And then after that one day is over, as I always say, you go home, jump up on the sofa, get the remote, watch some TV and eat a donut. That's what you do. You know, you do nothing more those other 364 days. But soon as Black History rolled around, soon as Dr. King holiday come up, you got to go out there and toot your horn. It's not going to be no different with Juneteenth. You're going to do the same thing that you've been doing all these years. You know, you're going to get together, you're going to socialize, you're going to dance, clap, jump, stomp, holler. You know, you're going to do all that. But after Juneteenth week is over, you know, it's back to the same old, same old. You know, you go home, you sit down. That's why I don't do Black History programs anymore. You know, it's just a show. You're not for real. You know, you're not trying to build a future for your children and your grandchildren. It's all for show. You know, think about it. How long have you been doing Juneteenth over the years, celebrating slavery, being free from slavery? Now, fast forward to today. It's been 100, what was it, 100 years, 100 years or more since we was freed from Lincoln signing the Emancipation Proclamation. So let's add it up. How have Juneteenth had an impact on your life up to this year, 2021? They pacifying you all, giving you these little symbolic. I think someone posted on my page the other day. I think Malcolm X said it best when he said that, you know, we're being given these little small victories only to distract you away. And I'm paraphrasing, of course, only to distract you away from the real important issues in terms of justice and prosperity. You know, yeah, they give you that. They give you Juneteenth. Because why? You're gonna turn around, you're gonna give that money right back to them. You're gonna go and buy up all the food, you're gonna buy up all the drinks, you know. I mean, you're gonna do that. You know I'm telling the truth. You're gonna do that. So whatever holiday pay you get is gone one day, as opposed to reparation will allow you to celebrate for years. So those are all the topics that I just ran through just a few minutes ago. I don't have anything else up here, I don't think. Let me go back up here. No, I don't have anything else. But as I put that back on the screen, it's a trick, you all. I'm only talking to intelligent minds. When I say intelligent minds, I mean those folks who have basic common sense. In other words, you are not so easily to be, what's the word I'm looking for? Hoodwinkle. You know, you're not so easily to be hoodwinkle. They can't pull the cover over your eyes. You awake. You're not asleep. You see what is going on right before your eyes. These little small symbolic gestures, wins that we consider to be nothing more than a symbolic gestures. You're going to take that, happy, jump, loop, holler, hooray, hooray, hooray. Whether it's short term or long term. What economical, financial, profound effect will that have on your life and your family? So with that, I'll close and I'll go over here to see if I have any questions. If I don't have any questions or comments, I'm going to conclude this show. Look like everybody off into the ball game. We get that's my real faithful supporter there, Mrs. William. How you doing? Praying for you, Mrs. William. I know you still got something going on with you and your family, trying to get justice. I pray that you get that justice. Stay on it. It's going to be tiresome sometime. It's going to get you down. You got to be strong, for those babies that, you're caring for now. But you can do it. Black women have always been strong. Black women have carried black men when the black man is in there wondering how he going to pay the bills, how he going to feed his family. There it is, the woman, wife, or whatever, grandma, she's in the kitchen making a meal from scratch. Okay. So we always have had strong women that had our backs. And so, again, much love to you. And I hope you get the justice that you're looking for. My brother there, Chris Ray. What's up, fam? Yeah, so true, my brother. We're just trying to, at least I'm trying to get us to do what I call some critical thinking. The first question you should ask is that, why was this overwhelmingly? This was passed in the House overwhelmingly. You hear me? Which means Republicans and Democrats alike came to the table and they voted yes, making Juneteenth a federal holiday, which you all know that the Republicans, in terms of some of the things that we're fighting for now, whether it's the John Lewis Voting Rights Act, the For the People's Act, what is police reform, they got a deaf ear to that. They don't even want to discuss that. Restricting your right to vote. They don't want to talk about that. Not even allowing you to have water while you're standing in line voting. So the question is, why were they so easily and quick to give you a federal holiday? Simple. Giving you a Juneteenth holiday ain't gonna do nothing for you in the short run. Maybe not the long run. Tell you what it will do in the short term. Like I say, that holiday pay that you got yesterday or whatever, or whenever they give it to you, when you go back to work, it's already spent. You gave it right back and put it in the economy. Okay. So I thank you, brother Chris, for tuning in. We got Miss Davis there. How you doing there, Sister Davis? I've been paying very close attention to you, being a voice in your community, putting out information that will have a profound effect on our pocketbooks. You watch the money. I like when you watch the money, and so thank God for you doing the things on that end of the state. I think Sister Prophetess Joanne Bale, I think she's another one on that end that does well. My brother, uh, Roselle Aaron, who is vice president of the NAACP there, and I want to say, is that North Little Rock or Little Rock? One of them, as well as President Sister Deborah Rose. And so I support all of you men and women in Little Rock and surrounding areas that are keeping your, or shall I say, keeping our people informed. All right. So I thank you, Sister Davis. And so it looks like you all that pretty much gonna conclude my broadcast. Like I said, I had planned on coming on. I had some legal documents that I was trying to look for. I couldn't find them. I wasn't gonna come on, but I said, well, let me just go ahead and just tweak this broadcast today. Let me talk about post Juneteenth Day. And so I hope I didn't make anyone upset, didn't make anyone mad. As I indicated, me trying to differentiate Juneteenth from some of the more important issues that Black and brown people face. That's basically what I was doing. I would just want us to stay focused on some of the issues, especially as it relates to police reform, which is the most important issue for most parents. Having a concern that will their child return home when they leave outside their prison, that it be school, that it be some school activity, or going to a ball game, or just out riding around, like kids do over the weekend, having fun. And next thing you know, your child is being pulled over by the police, and one thing lead to another. And we just pray to God that it don't turn deadly, as we have seen in many other cases. And so, but that's pretty much my show, you all. I want to say thank you all for tuning in. Look like I got another one or two people that tuned in over here. What's going on, my brother? We got my brother there. Brother, sorry I didn't catch y'all. Like I said, my brother, I know everybody's busy. Many of you probably into the NBA games or what have you. But please, it's there. It's not going nowhere. So in your time that's convenient for you, please tune in. And look, I need to get with you on the NAACP. I need to get with you. So sometime tomorrow, I'm going to be giving you a call, reaching out to you, and also to brother Larry. I'm going to be giving him a call as well. So you two gentlemen is what I want to work with. So be looking for my call, and I will be getting with you. Okay. Oh yeah, he said okay. All right, my brother. I'm glad to have you to be willing to participate. You already a member. That's why I want you to have a really major role with us trying to reactivate the NAACP. Sister Davis, amen, my sister. Again, stay on the wall, as you say. Stay on the walls and keep boots on the ground. All right. I don't see any more comments over here, you all. Like I say, we only, oh man, I did good. Only 39 minutes. As I say, I want to keep my shows between 45 minutes and 1 hour. I don't want to do no more 2-hour broadcasts. It's tiresome. Okay. I'll be so drained and tired when I finish. So I just want to say to you all, I don't see any more comments. I'm getting ready to close it out, you all. If you got any, anybody got any announcements that you want to send out that I can put on the screen. If you type in an announcement or an event that you have coming up anytime between now and, within the next month or whatever, go ahead and put it across the screen, and I will broadcast that. I will say, Sister Juanita Jackson, this lady works hard here in Blythe. She putting together an event. I want to say is next weekend or this coming weekend, and she putting on an event that bringing all walks of life together, both black, both white, both non-employed, both employed, whatever your zip code or your side of town address that you live on. She throwing this thing where she trying to bridge the gap within the community, having those individuals to come out to break bread and to fellowship with each other. I think it's going to be a nice community event that she has planned. She also having the police department to be involved, which to my understanding, they have agreed to be part of that. And this is what I've been calling for all these years: police and community relation. That's how we solve crimes, with the police department and the community coming together, sitting at the table, having some discussion, trusting each other. And when you do that, when the walls come down, when you do that, you come to the table, community and police. Only then will you have an opportunity to bring down crime in the various communities. Well, you all, that's my show. Look like we got one more comment here. Let's see what that is. We got Brother Daniels there. How you doing, my brother Daniels? How's things down on the south end there? Also, how's your son? I know that, we talked once before, you're working on some things there. Anything that I can do for us directing you, my brother, Brother Thomas, please give me a holler. Like talking to good people, for real people. And you indeed, I have found to be just that, a real brother. That's for real. Ain't nothing fake about you. And I love that. Stay that way. Okay. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's 42 minutes. And like I say, between 45 and 1 hour is where I want to be. But we're going to try to keep it at 45 tonight. And so if there is not any more, there go my brother. He just responding to me. I appreciate your support. I appreciate you, my brother. And like I say, we will get together and yet keeping your families in my prayer. And hopefully, somewhere along this year, we're just going to pray that your son receive the good news that he has been so long and waiting on. Okay. So if there is no other comments or questions to come before this broadcast, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go ahead and conclude this broadcast. And I may broadcast next week. If I do, I try to send out notice in advance. But as you always know, that when I get ready to end this show, I always like to end this show, first of all, by saying I appreciate each and every one of you taking part out of your busy schedule to join me every Sunday at 6:00 p.m. the Tony Hollis Live Talk Show Testify. I thank you all for watching. The topic will be announced later in the week. Okay. So until then, as I always say, peace and love and good night.